This week, I assert that I merely brushed Keith's face, while he states that I nearly snapped a vertebra. Either way, all I know is that between that and his questionable porn choices, Keith is all set to win Nevada. All that and more on this week's episode of...
Oh my God, it just snuck up on me. Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time! I totally forgot there was even a show. There's just so much happening right now. Like, usually what we say is we go through the whole thing. You know what? I'll do it just so that we don't do it twice. But you guys know it'll go, the next hour is replaced with two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons writing about opinions they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. You know that thing. And then we go, our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C. is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, as impossible as that may seem. But there are so many scandals right now. Like, everything is politics and scandals. I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid it entirely, but here's the thing, listeners, since you know why you're here, like the exact amount of education that I've completed in studio, we have Color School. Woo! Yes. So Bill, say hello, Bill.
Hello.
That's Bill. And then we have Jerry over here.
Good morning.
All right, those are our gentlemen today. So, Color School, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
We have a tumultuous time in the world, or at least in our country.
Yes.
But there are more important things happening. A lot of people watched, like all of the Democratic races and the Republican races that happened with Senate and the governors and the House and all of that. But you have a show coming up on Thursday, November 15th.
Right.
At the Vinyl Lounge in Washington, D.C., and it's free.
It is
that's
free.
a party I can get behind.
Right.
I know.
That's a strong platform.
You know,
Right.
it's worth getting there the half hour early for happy hour.
That's
They have great happy hour, but
Yeah.
also it's under the freeway, almost all the way up to Key Bridge. And when's the last time we were up in that area? It's really, well, if you go to Gypsy Sally's, maybe it's more recent, but it's so cool to be up there because that's one of the, at least it used to be one of the places nobody went. Of course, that was when there was an impound lot instead of a park on the water itself. And so, I remember when it was kind of gritty, and we used to play at the Bayou all the time.
The Bayou, I was going to say, is right around that area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we got to open for the Ramones 4 times at the Bayou
That's
back
amazing.
in the day.
Okay.
And so the Bayou is very near and dear to us.
That's cool. Yeah.
Played with the Alarm at the Bayou.
I never went there. I wasn't way into music yet, and by the time I did get into it, it was gone.
My folks used to go there when they were dating. It was called the Pirates Den, and it was kind of a Dixieland jazz place.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so when they
Which
got
is more of what Georgetown was known for, right? Was the
Right.
blues, jazz kind of thing.
Well, and this was in the 50s, and so that was what was going on. But they got to come back to the place and see me open for the Ramones. And of course,
cool.
your folks should see the Ramones.
And they're so close, Dixieland and the Ramones.
Well, it's closer than any of us know.
Yeah, the Ramones just spell it differently.
Well, they are the Shirelles in leather, so I mean, you can take it back a little
and they
bit
got
more.
they got to see Root Boy Slim too. So I
think that's a good night.
I really opened up some of their horizons.
That's fantastic. So you guys are going to be there on Thursday, November 15th, Vinyl Lounge in Washington, D.C. You just had an EP come out. That didn't show up on any of the CNN feeds.
Well, no.
I saw them
We're
live.
trying to stay under the radar.
Yeah, they were live tracking the elections.
We
but
don't have to try.
I didn't.
to stay under the radar.
You're just naturally good at it.
It's
a talent.
We have that
I
technology.
don't know how, but it works out that way.
We can be stealth.
Right. It's like an X-Men superpower that you weren't aware of.
Casper. That's our superpower.
So it was called Close Enough to Fix. We have a track from that EP called Issues. Or Issue?
Issue.
Singular.
Because there's not
Just
enough
one.
issues going around.
Okay, just one issue.
Just one issue.
We're just adding one more to
You
it.
rock the
If you have
issue.
more than one issue, then you have a major malfunction.
That's true.
It can get out of hand.
And that's from that EP, Close Enough to Fixes. Now, we have to ask the question, obviously, that we do with all of our artists. Has this track been on the radio?
Yes.
It has been. Oh, okay.
It has been.
Where was it played?
Very small FM stations, guys we know from Hagerstown.
Yes, Steve Kaplan is a DJ at WWCF. in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's you'll hear Democracy Now! And you'll hear Color School, and you'll hear all kinds of interesting things.
And then great
on the
psychedelic music.
Yeah,
He
the
plays
local radio
cool
station
stuff.
He actually does a very good WHFS style back in the day.
Oh, okay,
set.
interesting. Yeah,
and they're available on Mixcloud also. His name is Steve Kaplan with a C.
Okay.
A-N, C-A-P-L-A-N, and they're available on Mixcloud.
And they beat us to the punch, is what you're saying. Because
Yeah,
what we were hoping
they
is that
did.
maybe we would have the world premiere.
Well, has he played Issue?
I'm not sure he's played Issue.
I'm not sure he's played Issue. I know he's played
Oh.
Own. You
He's
played
played
Own.
Own.
You did the world premiere of Own when Cammy was here.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
You know,
was that with you guys?
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
that
realize.
was that's on the EP, and
Okay.
so we're like old school here now.
Color old school.
Well, thank you. Yes, of course,
There you go.
naturally.
All right. So speaking of old school and all of the issues that come with it, we've got some things that popped up. We obviously had the elections. The Democrats won the House. I'm happy with that just because not necessarily Democrat versus Republican. I just really love government when it's ineffective. Like that makes me so happy.
So you're really rooting for gridlock.
Yeah. I want people to have to yell at each other to get something through.
Well, I mean, the whole point is that produced that. I'm banging my hands together
On the radio. Yeah.
For the
good.
radio
great
people.
radio.
We all
that
understand.
brings the right result
I
because
hope. Yeah.
but I've lived in two places where it was a one-party rule, in DC
Okay.
and in Hawaii.
Okay.
And in both places, it can get a little smarmy, a little ugly. And they were my party, but they were still kind of not smelling so well. So a loyal opposition is crucial to all this. And that's our problem nowadays is we lack a loyal opposition. It's all asymmetric.
Yeah.
And so off my horse.
No, I agree. We need two.
Turn serious. What happened?
Yeah, we need two people who don't like each other too much, but are acting in good faith. And then they get together and they go,
Reagan
let's try to
and Tip.
find a thing that's not so terrible. for everybody."
Ronnie and Tip, I think,
Yeah.
is the classic.
So that's good. We have a little more gridlock, which is super great. That's fun. And
Makes this world go round.
yeah. And then we have Jeff Sessions just got sacked, or I guess he resigned because the president said, could you please resign? And if the president says that, you go, yes, sir. I can definitely do that.
Well, I might do it after the election became like done
Right.
really quick.
I think he's
Yeah.
going to start his Broadway career now because he's actually the grandmother in Beverly Hillbillies, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I cannot. You've never seen the two of them together.
I think we're looking at a
Him and-
geriatric
him and
production
he-
of Peter Pan. I don't know.
It's going to be him and Hugh Jackman. They're going to be doing like How to Succeed in Business or something. you know?
With
I
Texas
just know
Tea.
it.
Barefoot in the park.
Well, the weird thing about Jeff Sessions to me is there's a huge uproar about it, right? Everybody's really upset that we've sacked Jeff Sessions, but like I may be off on this, but I seem to remember that when we got Jeff Sessions, we didn't like him.
Everybody was upset.
right? Like we were all upset.
Hey.
We're like, oh, F this guy. And now we're like, oh, he kind of grew on us.
Yeah,
I don't think he
it's-
ever grew on us. But
Well,
anyway.
I think he got under the thumb, under the hammer, and you can't help but feel a little bit of a kinship or sympathy
Oh,
for
right.
someone
yeah.
in this effect. And so I think that
You're like,
explains
oh, poor guy. Look at
Yeah.
him.
it. Right. Well,
He can't even move.
It's clearly not fair, and it doesn't matter which side you're on. You can see that.
Yeah. No, I
And
think
so
that's it.
that comes into play. And of course, it all seems a little bit.
Staged.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll go with that. The interesting thing is then that bigger than that apparently right now, which that seemed like a thing that's noteworthy, but we've banned a CNN reporter from the White House. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, he wasn't acting properly.
There's
He
so
needed
there's
to get a note from his mother.
there's two stories. One, if you hear from the left, it would be that he was brushing something off of the arm of an intern, and if you got it from the right, it was a suplex. Somewhere in the middle, I'm guessing, is where it was.
You know, he was trying to keep hold of the microphone.
Yeah.
And she did not study her Kanye moves because she didn't learn how to take the microphone.
Right. I'll let you finish.
Right.
But I'm going to need this microphone.
And Kanye was just in town, could have schooled all the interns,
right.
But they missed the opportunity. So
I'm going to let you finish your question, but just for the record, this president is the best ever.
I'm not sure they're going to go with the charitable. I'm going to let you finish.
Right.
But,
yeah.
You know, why not? It's easy to say.
Yeah, you can
give
say
me credit for it.
Yeah. So apparently there was a full punch to the face. I don't know. I've heard all types karate chop that happened.
Doctored video.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's gotten really weird.
Well, this whole place, we're just getting weirder and weirder. It's like backwards world sometimes. I mean, you can't write this stuff.
So yeah, that's our world where we live in. But so the most important thing is, if this is all getting kind of crazy for you and you'd like to kind of escape from that, may I suggest Thursday, November 15th at the Vinyl Lounge. It's free and you just show up. You go down to Washington, D.C., hang out at the Vinyl Lounge, listen to our friends Color School. I assume you're going to be playing Issue live.
We will play the entirety of the new EP, which is available on Spotify and SoundCloud and
just do a search
all
for
of the places.
Do a search for Color School on all of your streaming services. Look for the EP Close Enough to Fix. You'll be able to listen to Issue and countless other songs.
Well, you can count them.
I mean, I'm not that high. I don't know if I told you. The highest I got in my schooling was Color School. So that's,
Right.
Yeah. So counting is way up there.
If we gave them each a color instead of a number, though, you might work with it.
I would at least be able to see them.
It would look like a horse at the end.
And the reason why Keith does a lot of radio now is so when you get the colors wrong, you can't tell him. So
Right.
Are you drawing outside the box?
Yes.
Is that what's going on?
What
Boxes?
There you go.
So, and if you want to keep in touch with these lovely gentlemen and find out about other shows and other releases that'll be coming up in future months and years, go up to www.facebook. I know you've never heard of this, but it's a really interesting service that spies on you. Facebook.com/Color School. And just in case you're confused, it's the color, the American way, not color, the British way with the U. It's not that.
Well, that's because our name is taken from the Washington Color School, which is a group of painters that painted around here in the 50s, 60s.
Oh, okay.
And it's Washingtonian, but it's not political, which really, there's not a lot of choices in that regard.
Right.
So our bass player, who is the bass player who used to be with us, he came up with the idea. He's a renowned photographer, Charles Steck.
Okay.
And he has taken portraits of some of the Color School artists.
Oh, interesting.
And I think that's why it was front in his brain,
Yeah,
because
that
he
makes
had
sense.
met some of them. And it's very interesting
Well,
stuff.
we'll talk a little bit more about what the Color School entails.
Perfect.
A little later in the show. In the meantime, we've gone through the real news. Now we're going to go through not fake news, because it's actual news, but what this is called is the weather report. We're going to make you to the editor-in-chief of a brand new publication, and you get to choose, you get to determine we're your reporters. We've gone out into the internet, we've scoured it, we've found all of these news articles, not nude articles. Yeah.
Not
no,
necessarily.
we haven't had any sex doll articles in a while.
Different,
So.
different show.
That'd be a nice weather.
That's wait, don't tell me does that.
So you get to determine whether or not they're news and whether or not they make it into your publication.
So weather.
That's right.
Clever.
I remember this.
Yeah. all right.
Clever. I get it.
I just want to win Carl Sagan's voice on my answering machine.
No, again, this wrong show.
Oh, damn. Adam's voice.
So here's the thing. You can tell us where you want it in the publication if you'd like. The most important thing is at the end, though, we're going to need a name for your new publication. So think about that. All right. So without further ado, Adam, as always, gets started. Let's do this.
So, egg on my face, listeners. You may remember last week I did a story about a meth head woman half naked falling through the ceiling of a cookout.
Yes.
And at the end of that, and at the end of my presentation, I had the audacity to say that as much as I loved Cookout, I could totally see something like this happening there because it didn't have the same dignity as a Waffle House.
That's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Cookout, the chain.
Yeah, the chain of restaurants. Yeah. No,
well,
I agree.
This week I have to eat my words. Man with no pants falls through Alabama Waffle House ceiling, fights patrons before escaping.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes, listeners, I have shamed myself. I have forgotten the face of my father, as they say. They didn't at one place.
yeah, this is the beginning of where different chains fight for the same customers, it sounds like.
It's happening all the time. It's just now you became aware of it.
What, that people are falling through ceilings of Waffle Houses?
Different
Everywhere.
food
Or different
establishments.
southern staples.
Yeah, and so it could happen at a Five Guys next.
Oh, don't
No, I was
you
actually going to
dare.
say, if we're going south, it's going to be a steak and shake next week.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
Pickens.
I have noticed Five Guys is international now, though. I
That
saw
is
Five
true.
Guys on the Champs-Élysées. I saw it in Dublin.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
It's nuts.
I feel like a Bojangles is going to come up first, though, on that list.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Bojangles is great.
Especially. So this is what they call the race to the bottom, right? It's an economic term, I think, and that these people are racing to the bottom through the roof. and then the chains are racing to the bottom
Just,
of who the worst
these
person
are
is.
one-story buildings.
Yes.
How did they get up there?
That is
Why
true.
are they up there? Because I've never seen a two-story. Actually, down in Richmond on Broad Street, there's a Waffle House that's like a storefront. So there is an upstairs there.
Sure.
So it does happen, but the general Waffle House footprint does not have a second floor.
You mean you never
Well,
wanted
I'm
to climb the
glad
arch?
you asked.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Because we have,
I have
the story.
I have a theory.
So-
Do you want my theory first?
What's your theory?
I think it's not going to spread to other things. I think it's because of the two brands. First, Cookout, right? The guy was like, so I have to go outside to get it, right? And so he was on the roof trying to get the cook, right? Get the food. And then Waffle House, he thought the whole house was made out of waffles, right? So
Trying to snack on the shingles.
exactly. And then he fell through, not realizing that it was actually just a building that had waffles in it. That's my theory. Am I close?
I think you're talking about meth, not acid, though. So.
That's true.
No, apparently the suspect who went into the men's room and then was attempting to get into the manager's office to steal all the money. So he went into the men's room, took off his pants to tie the door closed so no one would disturb him, crawled up into the drop ceiling and was trying to make his way to the office when he fell through the ceiling into the dining area, fought a bunch of customers and ran to his buddy who was waiting in the car. And so far they've gotten away. They haven't found these guys yet. But considering his pants with his wallet, including his driver's license and everything else, was left in the men's room he crawled into,
He didn't think
they're
it
pretty
through.
sure they'll find him.
Yeah.
That's almost worse.
Do you know?
than
No, I
running
think
with
this
shoes.
was the original treatment for Ocean's 11, but I'm not sure.
Right. Ocean's 1. It was just him.
It's more of a pond, really.
It's Puddle 1. Yeah, that was not well thought through. I thought at first you were going to be like, he goes to the bathroom and then he got confused. And I'd be like, yeah, that's not how you use the bathroom. And then he pooped in the ceiling.
There's so many movies that show people like crawling through the vents or the ceilings to get around the enemy. What they never tell you is that literally every single time that happens in real life, you either fall through the drop ceiling or get stuck in the vent and die.
Or make just so much noise, right? Have you ever just pushed on a piece of ductwork? It just sounds like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine crawling through
It's
it?
like a Sun Chips bag cranked to 11.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way you're gonna sneak through a duct system.
Well, and it's sheet metal with the pointy screws,
Yeah.
and so it's not going to feel good.
No, it's like an Iron Maiden that makes a lot of noise. All right, so we've determined it's a bad idea. The question is it news?
Go on.
In the city paper, it would be.
I think it's nice.
But in your paper,
It would be section B. I don't know if I'd have it front page.
okay.
But if it's community, it happened in your community. It's
Yeah.
local. It happened to a local business. It's a store. It's some dude who's, like you probably see the guy doing something for you in the town.
Right.
It's news.
I think it's just redneck bashing. It's why Trump won.
Well, hold it.
No.
There was no description of the person.
I
You
know.
could- yeah.
I'm being really facetious.
So
You
watch
could
out.
also put it in classifieds because there's apparently a free pair of pants available.
Oh,
If anybody wants some
oh,
pants.
man, that's some used pants, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a segment for the news of the weird.
Okay. All right.
But that's valid to have a news. of the week.
Yes.
Okay, so that's in. Excellent. This one was all over the place, but I had to grab it because it made me laugh so much. Dead Republican brothel owner wins election in Nevada.
That is Brill.
It's the best thing ever. He owns a brothel, which I wouldn't expect from a Republican, and then he's dead, and nobody knows. Like, they're like, no, that's the kind of guy I want in my state representative, because it's state representative.
Well, we've seen the guy on TV, and it wasn't that hard to think that it was tick, 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 tick. He probably wasn't taking care of himself.
Yeah.
And besides, Keith, it's absolutely had to be a Republican who owned a brothel. A Democrat would be too busy, uplifting all of these sex workers to own their own brothels.
Ah, that's a good point.
Well, it was Nevada too, right? And I mean, that's been like, gambling and prostitution has been like the tourist stay there for eons now. So, of course.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely.
Well,
not
except
surprised at
for, Harry Reid came from a town that had a brothel, and there's stories about that. So I don't know whether it's necessarily one side or the other, but he's like a notorious libertarian type.
Yeah.
And so that's where he's going to be.
Right.
That
makes sense.
What's his
These
tombstone going to say, though?
I don't really want to know that. Just curious, but no.
Yeah.
Anyway, though,
It's going to say, represent this.
I kind of want
yeah.
to be at the wake, though. I bet that wake is going to be a party.
Right?
Has it already happened?
I have no
Can we
idea.
crash it?
I don't know. It just
Can we be
seems
wake
like
crashers.
from what I've seen of his stuff on HBO, it's very much mechanized, and it didn't look very hot.
You're
or anything.
watching his stuff on HBO?
It's very
It's
mechanized.
a show. It's he had a show. What was the show
Wait,
called?
are you saying there are sex dolls in his brothel?
No. But it didn't look very joyous. It looked kind of sad and sanitized. And
Sure,
and,
but that's how all sex with me is.
There's
well,
nothing
fair,
worse.
I've gone too far.
There is nothing worse than a sad brothel.
I think that's the story in
Yeah.
Nevada. That it's like it's like you used to be you had to go there for gambling, and it was very exotic everywhere.
Sure, yeah.
But now gambling's everywhere.
Right.
But that's still just there.
That's true.
I know.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, how to draw your own conclusions.
I have no idea. So we have a
There's sin in sin.
I mean, we're burying the lead. I don't mean I mean that on purpose, but the guy's dead.
But he's not the first dead guy to win an election.
That's true.
And it was probably so over it. I mean, he was so far ahead that it wasn't going to happen. That and it could be low information voters there. They didn't even hear that he was dead.
Yeah, I feel like he's been.
They either didn't hear or didn't care.
He died a month ago, though.
Has it been that long?
It's last month.
So why is it just getting in the news now?
Well, if you're spending all your time gambling and
They didn't think he would win.
going
he
out
just
with
won.
sex workers,
Yeah,
you
he
can't
just
really
won.
watch the news.
It does. It could be on in the bar.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. I think if somebody's dead for like the better part of a month and you still vote for them, that's something on you, right? Like,
Fair.
like
fair
I
enough.
understand if it was like earlier that week and you're like, oh, I didn't hear. Oh, that's embarrassing. But
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
yeah, because you have to go look at a news article somewhere and be like, I just want to make sure that his platform is what I'm looking for, and then you're like, oh, and he's dead. That's
Here's a question: were there people at the polls giving out the sample ballot with his name on it? Did those people show up?
Yeah.
And who bought the donuts?
That's true. That's the important question. Who bought the donuts?
Yeah, are they still sponsored by him? That is weird.
So they'll be appointing someone from the same party.
But that's, of course, why they voted then, because they didn't want to vote for the other side regardless.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. So the question is it news?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I mean, how could it not be? I mean,
That's right. When I pick out things that are in the news, then they're definitely news.
And that's front page.
I have a new strategy.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, you should be picking the news.
All right. Adam.
The Sex with Bigfoot movie starring a New Jersey school board candidate is even worse than it sounds.
That's impressive because it sounds terrible.
I heard a little bit
Keith.
about this, but I didn't know it was New Jersey. I thought it was somewhere else.
It was Chris Christie. He's the guy in it.
Well, no, please. Now, why did you do that?
I mean, in a way, Bigfoot could be a really good porn name. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm surprised it probably is.
Yeah.
Which
anyway.
because big feet,
Yeah. You know,
tiny hands.
big shoes. So yeah. How is it worse? Do you have the details on this?
Oh, I've got if we have time, I've got like a brief rundown of the movie.
Oh, go for it.
Oh God.
All right, so it all started off when this particular person mentioned his fascination with a Stalin era Russian biologist, Ilya Ivanovich Ivanovov. I may have added a few syllables there.
That's fine.
Who in 1929 solicited female volunteers to be artificially inseminated with orangutan sperm.
Oh God, what have I done?
So that is what led to the eventual idea of Bigfoot blood trap.
Oh God, blood. All right, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out, everybody.
You know,
I'm finished.
Oh, but Keith, I haven't even started the rundown.
No, this is, God damn it. You didn't tell me the name of it.
this is Renfest or something.
Oh,
What is it?
God.
I'll do the super quick version in
Okay.
that two women, lesbian love scene in the woods.
Oh, that's good.
Seems great, right?
Yeah, no, I'm in.
And then they kill Bigfoot's kid, Littlefoot,
All
which
right.
causes Bigfoot to disembowel the two women on camera.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then
Oh.
a couple years later, the distraught husband of one of them captures Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then remember what I talked about the Russian guy back in the Stalin era?
Yes.
Think that as done by Roger Corman.
Okay.
Yep.
This is
And
not
then
going well.
more disembowelment, more bestiality sex, and eventually a missionary.
And eventually a missionary. There you go.
To save
Like-
them all.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, you have to read the article just that going down the brief synopsis of this film scene by scene, and it is just so uncomfortable to read that I kind of want to watch it now.
Wait, are you saying one of the characters is a missionary or one of the positions is a missionary?
Porque no los dos.
All right. Fair enough. So we know it is horrifying, but is it news?
I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Just for the only reason that I don't want to
It's a
lose my
family
lunch.
paper, you know.
I mean, you don't have to have pictures. You just paint it with words.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, man.
A little more indelible, perhaps.
All right. So not news, unfortunately.
boo. I demand a recount.
All right. So sometimes people don't learn their lessons, and sometimes people don't plan well. We learned that from the gentleman that fell through the roof of the Waffle House, the ceiling of Waffle House. This is another person that maybe knows them or goes to the same school, or I don't know. But woman convicted of embezzlement, charged with embezzling to pay restitution. Yeah.
Recidivism is a big issue.
It is a big issue. There's something in her head that thought, well, I'm going to need money. How can I get it? You know what they'll never suspect? Me doing this again.
Well, you know, you got to work with the skills you got, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, that's just amazing to me that she was like, I was so good at it the first time I got caught.
Well, maybe she was, and maybe these are the only times she's ever got caught.
And she
And
thought-
maybe she owns like 18 islands.
Yeah, that could be.
You know?
Why did she
If
just...
you only get caught twice, it's worth it.
Then my suggestion would be sell the islands to pay the restitution.
Yeah, there could be that then too. That's one hell of a restitution.
Yeah, I would imagine losing an entire island to restitution would be really unfortunate.
Well, it depends on the island.
Yeah, that is true.
Theodore Island, Roosevelt.
Oh, well,
But yeah, she made
no price.
she made 1,353 unauthorized transactions. Originally, I think that's what it was. So $134,000.
With a card?
I guess with different people. Yeah. So, but yeah, different transactions and stuff. Just adding some things.
So
but
she had a system.
yeah.
It sounds like too much work.
She found something she was good at.
Yeah, and it wasn't working. So it is again. Obviously, Ocean's Dose. I assume is what that was. Is it news?
I don't know. It seems a little boring.
Seems boring.
Sorry.
Is it because it's repetitive? Is that what you're saying?
It wasn't a big
Yeah.
enough high crime.
Well, I guess it's kind of like ironic in a Alanis Morissette kind of way.
Yeah.
So sure, but yeah, I don't know.
So you're not in, you're saying?
I mean,
Jerry,
you
you agree?
started out with all scandal. And this is what you're bringing me.
You know, I don't know. We could do a 7-page report on this and teach people her scams so that the scams go on the internet and everybo's doing these scams.
That's a good point.
Is it a how-to or a watch out?
There you go. Exactly.
That's
In-depth
Fine line
reporting.
there.
Yeah. All right. So not in. Well,
I'm sorry. I feel like we're not pleasing you, John.
no, we're just very competitive, and so we really want
Well,
to be.
you've both kind of struck out on those.
I know.
So there's parity
We're
involved.
tied.
Hold it. There's going to be a tiebreaker.
So we're running out of time, so we're going to run through these last few kind of in a speed round. So we'll give you the headline that we think would go in the paper. You let us know yes or no. If you have questions, that's fine. We'll try to answer them, but we won't pitch them to you. So Adam, let's hear your first one.
Mom took away PlayStation, so 11-year-old Cleveland boy leads police on second high-speed chase in 13 months.
Is there a Bronco involved?
Did we say it
doesn't
was a
matter.
Bronco?
Yeah.
Well, just the chase.
No,
it's
yeah.
it's
It was-
classic
there
chase
is,
stuff.
but it's a horse.
Oh, well, that's a good angle. I'd say yes.
Is it the chase is on video?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, if you bring in the chopper,
Roll-
you
roll the
lost me.
tape.
I mean, I'm there.
Yeah, all right, fair
I'm
enough.
with it.
Roll the tape.
All right, last ever Ms. Bum Bum contest descends into chaos as loser tears off winner's sash saying, "Mine is the only natural bum."
Oh.
Yeah, there's...
Wait,
See,
did I have an
scandal.
article?
been
Didn't I do an article a while ago about the Brazilian surgeon, Dr. Bum Bum, being on the run?
Yeah, I think you did.
If
And
they haven't found him, they should have been looking at this place.
this is where he probably was, yeah.
Now, I've been seeing a lot of ads for Juvederm on TV lately, and that's like a filler thing.
Okay, yeah.
And then a neighbor who's like obese, she advertised on Facebook that she was doing this stuff freelance,
Nice.
Botox and fillers. So it seems to be, now.
Right, and newspapers could use a little fillers. So this
Yeah, I think that's news.
All right. Excellent, Adam.
Well, it's been a while, but I finally have a Florida story. Florida Highway Patrol cruiser hits 142 miles per hour in pursuit, catches fire.
Ooh,
bet.
scheduled maintenance is really important.
No,
Yeah.
he should be arrested. That's reckless. You don't need a hot pursuit like that. So
That was
is,
a really hot pursuit.
That's way too. Yeah, really. I mean,
I don't know. That's not that fast. I've driven that fast.
not as a cop, you haven't.
Well, no.
What's the statute on limitations on that? Maybe we shouldn't say that on the air.
No, it happened in Germany.
Oh, okay. We're good. We're good.
You're firing on the autobahn.
I was Carfig Newtons.
There you
Something
go,
like
man.
that. I don't
So is it news?
know. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah?
yeah.
All
There's
right.
certain Schadenfreude there that is irresistible.
All right, excellent. Last but
All right,
not
Keith,
least.
for the tie.
Yeah, let's see if we can do this. Dutch man who is 69 says he, quote, identifies as 20 years younger and launches a legal battle to change his age.
Trans age?
Yeah, apparently that's what he's like. I don't know that he's used that terminology,
Okay, it
but
started weird because you started with Dutch in '69, so
Yes.
already it was kind of going off the
Oh,
charts
okay.
a
So
little
you
bit.
totally made it up. But
yeah, he was confused.
I love the Dutch people, so yes.
He was confused because he just heard sex act, and then a story, and he was like, I was lost. I was just still thinking about Bigfoot.
No. I love Dutch people. When we lived in Germany and we used to go to Holland all the time, and they
Oh,
were
okay.
wonderful folks. And so, sure.
So this is a Dutch man who's 69 years old who identifies as 20 years younger and wants to legally be.
If they're going to buy that anywhere,
49.
it's going to be the Netherlands.
Yeah, you think that's the place?
They're going to break
Didn't I
that
read
ceiling
somewhere
there.
that he was doing this for because he wanted that to be his age on Tinder?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, now, why do you have to do an official change
Yeah,
to do that?
exactly.
I mean, is
Why?
anybody telling the truth?
Yeah, no, everyone lies on Tinder. Jesus.
Unless they don't need to. But
Well, what
Yeah.
proof do
Even
they
then,
have?
they're
something
probably
they
lying
have
about
to-
something.
Is this just
Yeah.
a freedom of speech declaration of age, or
So
what?
yeah, is doctors say that he has the body of a 45-year-old, and so he should be able to identify as a 45-year-old.
so we carbon dating ourselves? Or
I
something?
guess, yeah.
He can identify that way, but his driver's license is still going to have a damn birth date on it.
Yeah. I think. So I don't know. So does this? Is this a landmark case that could happen? Is this news?
I don't know. I think it's those wacky Dutch. It's the headline.
Those wacky Dutch. Is it Florida? No, it's those wacky Dutch. All right, so it goes in.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. So we tied up for the week. That means there's only one piece of business left. Gentlemen, we need a name for your brand new publication.
Free B.
Is it?
That's mine. I don't know.
He's like, we're not going to be able to sell this.
Come on.
Sure.
Sure. Is that the name of it? Sure. So free, and is it the letter B?
No, like the bumblebee.
Bumblebee, free
Yeah.
B.
Well, that's
All right.
there's already another newspaper is the B. Where is it? Sacramento Bee.
Is there?
See,
Oh,
see, I got that from the
So
small
that's a
line
newspaper
of
name.
bees.
not C, B.
I went to journalism school actually, so
Oh.
back in way back when. So there's always a little spelling bee.
Here we thought you just went to color school.
Yeah. See, well, I think I did too. But anyway,
Speaking of which, in studio right now, we have both Bill and Jerry from Color School. You guys are playing a show on Thursday, November 15th at the Vinyl Lounge in Washington, D.C. We have a track today called Issue, which comes from your latest EP, Close Enough to Fix, which came out in September.
Yep.
So we were talking a little bit about it before. What is a color school?
go on, Bill.
Well, it's a group of painters that painted here in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
And I think there may be a couple still alive, at least one.
What defined a color school painting?
Bright colors, geometric patterns, kind of pop art, but not quite.
Okay.
And very bold stuff.
It was a study of color contrast.
Right.
Okay.
And hues and how one would fit with another and things like that. And actually a lot of like bold graphics have kind of come out because of, well, I don't know if it's because of that or not.
Well, you've seen some of these pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll look at them and you go, yeah. So Google it and there'll be a Wikipedia page and you'll see some of the pictures and you'll go, wait, I've seen that.
Okay. So it's fairly well known, although not in like current circles, but at the time, pretty revolutionary and something that had a lot of people's eyes.
Oh, I don't remember the name of the avenue, but they painted stripes like down Independence.
Well, that was
or
part
something
of
like
it.
that. Just the whole
Well,
avenue.
What?
Jerry had a picture of that on
It was
on
off of
our
their
page.
website, yeah.
Well, no, but what it was the street headed up to the is it the Portrait Gallery that's 9th and F or around there somewhere?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess it would have been 8th Street that leads straight up to the edifice of the gallery, maybe. And so it would have been the stripes headed up to the front of the gallery is that picture.
It's a large surface to paint.
Well, yeah, but it was all colored stripes, very much reminiscent of a color school painting.
It would have been way easier for Pollock to do that.
Well, yeah, the splatter kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Stephen Wright.
You know, I mean, and all the modern art, which color school stuff is a little more structured than that. But I was at the Pompidou Center back in the spring, and there's a lot of, and you go to the Hirshhorn, same thing. There's a whole lot of my kid could do that stuff. There's also some brilliant stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that you just like, God, my kid could do that.
Yeah.
They didn't.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Yes, they didn't. So
Yeah.
you got to give credit to all the artists, but
Right.
nonetheless, you have those moments in those museums.
That's that's fascinating. So I like that you're creating art under the pseudonym of previous art, right?
Well,
right. And try to draw a little bit of a lineage and support other parts of the community.
Do you think of your music as colorful and bold and geometric and kind of pop
I
art?
thought that the
No.
color school stuff was a good metaphor for a fizzy poppy pop band, and that's
Okay.
what we are.
Okay.
It's like I kind of worry that our record is maybe too pop for the indie folks and too indie for the pop folks, and we fell into the gap.
Right.
bite
And
me.
well, who knows? You can overthink this stuff.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I'm not sure how I got there.
And where did you record Issue?
Well, it's called 38 North now.
Okay.
It's a room from Q Studios in Falls Church. Which
Okay,
is
yeah.
right by the State Theater. Jim
Yeah.
Ebert produced.
Okay,
And he
Jim's
worked
great.
with me on a record with a band called the Revelaires.
Okay.
Which is Kevin Johnson and the lineman now is Kevin was the lead singer of the Revelaires.
Nice. Okay.
And so that was the band I was in after Jerry and I were in the Young Caucasians together back in the 80s, and that
When
broke
you were
up.
young?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We actually thought we could make it.
Now you're just the Caucasians.
Well, we're old certainly now, but
crusty
and it was a
Caucasians.
lot of fun then. But every once in a while, you get a cue that it's not going to work.
Right. Yeah.
We played in Maxwell's in Hoboken,
Okay.
and the sound man was a bass player for the bongos.
Nice. Okay.
And we're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
This guy's amazing. And he says, oh, please, we never netted more than 19 grand a year. They had 3
wow.
records on RCA.
Oh wow.
It's Elvis's label. They were on RCA. And he said, nah, it really wasn't a business. And, you start to realize you're going to have to do something else.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do something else. We're going to play a sample from your song. If you want to hear the entire song, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of the show and listen to it in its entirety and come back and join us. But here's a little snippet of Issue by Color School.
When everybody's reason is everybody's right, is there is no chance in hell that we may ever unite? When every word a chainsaw hacking at the core, I'd rather learn to dance with all the sawdust on the floor.
So this is something that I didn't know going in, but we've actually had one of your members on our show before. And
Cammie.
Cammie was here as just herself, Cammie Miller, right, Miller?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
she was also playing down at the Vinyl Lounge. And then we found out that she has now been adopted by you guys. And
Well, it's a
we adopted her for a year.
yeah, okay.
She comes from a very international family that travels around a lot.
Okay.
Jobs take them to different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the end of this year, they're moving to Singapore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
we're
So
gonna
we need
lose
a new
Cammie.
singer.
Well, I wouldn't go.
So reach
it's
out to
always-
us at contact at...
No, it's always
no?
been a party for us anyway, And I mean, Bill and I were playing together, alone, even with drums and acoustic guitars, and we really didn't care what else was happening.
Okay.
It was more about who would show up, who would actually gel with you,
Interesting.
and actually
Okay.
like to play with you,
Well-
and
Yeah.
actually be vested a little bit or whatever.
For
And
me-
so but there's other people, in DC in the music scene who said, "Oh, we can't wait to sing with you."
Right. Okay, good.
So,
good.
we
You've already got a
shows.
line.
We already got shows lined up in January and
Cool.
stuff like that.
Well,
and it's going to be a little bit different than what we get to bring to the table because we also have, Color School trying to be a little bit more diverse. We've always been playing with rappers and percussion players and
Yeah.
things like that before too.
Well, see, back in the Young Caucasians, we did go-go too. And
Oh,
we
interesting.
would play shows opening for Trouble Funk, Rare Essence, EU, all these bands, Trouble Funk a lot. We actually went
Yeah,
down to
they're
North
great.
Carolina, played with Trouble Funk at the North Carolina A&T Aggie Fest in a big
Yeah.
stadium full of people.
Wow.
And so learned a lot about rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
but also it's just another flavor we like to play. You won't hear it on this record,
Sure.
but you will hear it eventually.
Oh, nice. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you want to check out the current singer, you'll go to the Vinyl Lounge on Thursday, November 15th,
Right.
before she heads off on her adventures elsewhere.
And we're going to join her in Singapore and play internationally in some places.
There you go. And
Jerry has dreams.
if you want to find out
I
who
got
the
a
new
credit card.
who the new singers are and what the new sound is moving forward from there, head up to facebook.com/color school and hit these guys up and find out shows coming up in January and beyond.
And
Yes.
beyond.
Excellent. So without further ado, we're going to have you do something a little bit different. This is our little game show we like to call Please God Just Get One Right.
Ooh.
So our
Speaking of international hits.
Yes, that is a terrible stinger. So Phil Sells was here last week. He's playing up at Paradise Springs in Clifton, Virginia on Sunday, November 18th. And he had to answer questions for us that were chosen by the guest before. So he answered questions. I believe it was about water parks, right? Oh, no, it was
No, he did
selfies.
selfie deaths.
Selfie deaths. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I heard that.
and so he then had to pick a category for you. We have 6 questions. Your job is to try and get one right. All right. Are you ready
right.
for your category?
Yes.
Please.
Your category is things left behind at baggage claim.
Ooh.
You feel
I
good?
feel like you
Yeah.
almost said badger claim, and that
Badger
sounds
claim.
so much worse.
They're all badgers. Every answer to every question is badger. All right. So, Adam, let's get this thing rolling.
Enchiladas have many great fillings, typically here in America, chicken, beef, cheese, things like that. But at Sonoma Airport in California, a man was arrested after this more exotic ingredient was discovered in his carry-on meal.
What was the exotic ingredient?
In a quesadilla or in an enchilada. What was found in his enchilada?
A salamander.
Oh, crunchy, but good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking some kind of contraband, but I'm not
Okay.
thinking what.
Okay. Just some kind of contraband seems a
So we're
little.
going to go with salamander?
Too vague.
Some
Yeah, it
type of
seems a little vague.
slimy
Something
slug type.
that you could arrest him for.
That you could
Thanks,
arrest him
Bill.
for.
That's great. We gave you that. He was arrested for it. Yes, it's contraband.
Oh.
Okay, Captain Obvious here.
So, do you have a guess?
Well, I'm pretty sure Jerry's not right.
Okay, so not something Jerry said.
So,
Going with another broad one. Anything but a salamander is
and
your
I
answer.
can't really think about anything but weed being in that. So,
Okay,
That'd
is
be a
it
good guess.
weed?
No, a knife.
Oh, that's a delicacy?
no, it's just not allowed.
Right.
Well, I figured if I put something like, this weapon or this contraband,
Yeah.
so it would immediately go knife. So I decided to
Yeah.
You
he
use
tricked
my
you.
vocabulary
Everybody's
a
taking
little bit.
food on the plane.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking edible. I'll be damned. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So, next question. Claiming to be the only store in America that buys and sells unclaimed baggage from airlines, the Unclaimed Baggage Center claims to host nearly 1 million visitors each year, being one of the top shopping and tourist attractions in what state?
Wow, I'm gonna say Indiana.
Ooh,
I've heard
okay.
about this,
Yeah?
but I'm that's my guess.
Where's the Mall of America?
That's in Bloomington, Indiana.
There.
it?
So
Yeah.
we're it's karma. We're
Okay.
going with
So
that
you're
one.
on with Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is not Indiana. Indiana.
Kentucky.
It is Alabama.
Okay.
Which,
well,
when you
I
say
was
it out
working my
loud,
way.
when you say it out loud, you go, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense."
Love that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Filters
not really.
down.
Anyway.
All right. I assume that the baggage was lost in Indiana and then in Kentucky. It just went all the way down.
Cruise down to Missouri.
Yeah. All right. So, Adam, what do you have next?
Drug dealer Yudhishthir Maharaj was caught trying to smuggle cocaine stuffed inside what at New York City's John F. Kennedy International Airport in 2014?
I don't know my religious artifacts. It's going to be stuffed in one of them.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I
I
don't
suppose it's good to have some religious views said some way.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We need an answer.
That's
in his dreidel.
okay.
Going
All
with
right.
dreidel?
Going dreidel?
Going
Is it a
dreidel.
dreidel?
Close. Frozen goat meat.
It was
Shaped
that
into a
close.
dreidel. A frozen goat meat dreidel.
I'm not sure it spins well.
No. It's
That
spinning
you can
meat.
actually ship frozen goat meat.
I wouldn't search for meat spin on.
I know,
On
but
the
people
internet.
put frozen meat in their luggage.
Yeah.
I know because a friend of mine was talking about how she's in Hawaii trying to smuggle Kahlua pig to the country,
Oh.
to the mainland.
But
How do I do this?
In the United States, she doesn't have to go through customs.
Well, no, but she just I guess it's not smuggling. How to get it there without
Oh,
it, you know, how to freeze it and wrap it. And
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say, like, they're not going to
Make
confiscate
it
it.
edible at the other end.
That's the United States.
Fair enough. Well, is it?
Yes. Puerto Rico, also the United States.
Okay.
They just don't have electricity there.
Yeah, not all
Oh,
places.
that's sad. Okay, so moving on.
Thank you.
If you thought you left your bag at baggage claim, but then realized no, actually it was lost by the airline, what is the legal minimum that the carriers must set their limits for compensation to for lost luggage according to law 14 CFR Part 254?
Hold it.
So at the very minimum,
I'm gonna say $100.
they have to say that they will cover at least this amount if you can prove that your baggage was worth at least that amount. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna say $100.
they can't say, like, if we lose bags, we'll only give you 50 cents. That's our top. It's this
Right.
number at the very minimum.
Oh, minimum.
Yeah.
Right. You still have to prove the worth of it. So it basically, like, if you were to bring a $10,000 bag onto their carrier and they lost it, they would have to give you this minimum.
You need your Louis Vuitton receipt.
Right. They would, even if you prove that it's $10,000, they'd have to at least give you this minimum by law. They might cover the whole thing, but
And
by
it's
law.
it's a fixed amount. It's not a percentage.
Correct.
Yeah, I think the minimum is going to be like 25. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be
think
low.
it's going to be low.
$25.
Yeah.
25. Good guess. $3,500.
$3,500.
Yeah. So it's not a guaranteed amount, but what they're saying is
It's up to that.
no.
No, it's a
They
minimum.
say if your bag is worth at least $3,500, they have to give you $3,500.
Okay.
They can't say we'll give you $1,000 for your $3,500 bag. They can give you $3,500 for a $10,000 bag.
Right.
So that's the minimum by law that they have to give you if your bag was at least worth that.
Wow, I wonder how often this happens.
If your bag is worth
More than we
$100,
know.
Yeah,
they have to give
really.
you the $100. I
Right,
assume.
right.
All right. So next question.
The Unclaimed Baggage Museum and Store in Alabama has plenty of odd objects left behind at airport baggage claim. Items include a 15-foot rocket, a 1770 violin, and several precious stones. One of their most prized items on display is this David Bowie-related film artifact.
From an actual David Bowie film.
I want to go to that museum now. Kind of like
I would
want-
kind of give you half credit if you just get the film.
Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah, I can't even think of it. Oh no, it's going to be the Muppet film, the one that he did with the Muppets.
Oh, and New York?
Yeah,
Muppets
No, he
Take
did,
New York?
No, what the Labyrinth? Labyrinth was a David Bowie film that he did with the Muppets.
I'm sorry.
Which
You
one are
don't
you
know
going with?
I don't know that.
No, I'm looking for what the artifact is.
Yeah.
What is the artifact? The artifact is going to be Kermit.
Oh, all right.
Kermit from the Labyrinth is your answer.
Kermit from the
Yeah.
Labyrinth.
I don't
hold
think
it.
we've got one
No,
yet.
he wore
His-
things. He had jewels and things. He had.
Did he wear Kermit?
I don't know. That movie put me to sleep, even though I love David Bowie.
I will say that you got the movie correct. It is
Yes!
Labyrinth.
That's a half a point. We're not totally. We're
Yeah.
not totally
But
dusted.
The
I'm gonna
game is
defer
please
at
God
this
get
point 'cause
one right,
Jerry's on a
not
roll.
one half.
Yeah. So what is the artifact from the Labyrinth?
Oh damn! I don't know. A jewel.
A jewel.
A stone.
A jewel or a stone? Is it a jewel or a stone from the movie The Labyrinth?
No, it's the character Hoggle. So one of the puppets.
Ah,
Or
damn! I
Muppets,
was
I
damn
guess.
close to Kermit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aren't they
it
all
was one
Kermit,
of the
really? I
puppets.
mean,
Yeah, except Kermit wasn't even in that
No,
movie.
he wasn't even in the
So-
movie.
Still, I mean, they all started with Kermit.
So what he did is say
So the DNA is in there.
a puppet that wasn't in this movie from this movie,
Yeah.
which I cannot give you credit for.
Bugger.
All right, last
Those
but not
judges.
last but not least, although technically not baggage claim, in the departures area of Terminal 1 in the Dublin airport, a passenger forgot a headstone.
Ew.
They left a headstone. What was the inscription on that headstone?
Better late than never.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Don't leave me behind. What's the oh, there's the Irish phrase.
Oh, wait, may the road meet your feet. That
No,
one.
it
You're talking
said something, 3 words.
Pogamahon?
CEAD, something.
about? Oh, nope,
I don't
it is not that.
It's not
Okay.
that.
Are we good? We got our guesses in.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
our guesses in.
It is the wonderfully ironic phrase of, and I quote, "You will always be remembered, never forgotten."
Oh,
And that's why they're in baggage claim.
prophetic,
I get it now.
poetic. All
I
that.
get it.
Yeah. Like,
I think he had a nephew who
I
really
gotta say,
hated
it
him.
just got too heavy.
the
I mean,
headstone.
yeah. And I was in Dublin not that long ago, and they
Yeah.
were giving me a hard time that my carry-on was too heavy.
Oh, okay.
So literally, they
So
did.
that was your
And so
headstone?
Is it just because the headstone?
It was just my
dark?
shoes. I don't think
Yeah.
it was my headstone. You know.
They're like- so you think they were like, "What is that?" And they're like, "A headstone." And they were like, "Why do you have that?" And it was like, "My friend died." And they're like, "That's too heavy."
Yeah.
And then, all right. So unfortunately, you only got half right, which is not The name of the show is Please God Get One Right, and you got
we're
half right.
Not even close.
Not
But
even
this
close.
is the first time in the history of the game that anyone's got half of a question right. So that's pretty impressive.
So
You-
we make the history
Yeah,
books of
you-
Another Wasted Hour.
yeah, you hold on to that.
We're in the see.
I will.
We go on the board.
And I-
Excellent.
and that's all Jerry.
That's all. Yeah, that's all Jared.
That was
I
me.
got nothing.
Yeah, boy, those were stoner days. Watching
I'm just
the Labyrinth.
really glad I brought it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and he remembered the contact juggling and all the stuff, but
Yeah.
he also thought Kermit was in. This
You know, it
movie,
always
so-
comes back to Jerry because it's Jerry's songs is why I'm still playing drums.
Ah, all right.
You know, it really is because I know so many. I mean, the dads and classic rock cover bands in Alexandria
Sure,
out the
yeah.
wazoo, and I love playing an original band because I got these songs to play.
Yeah, it's definitely a
nice.
different feel and everything. And for those people who somehow missed the song we had earlier called "Issue," you can listen to the entirety of it at the 1 hour mark of the show, which is coming up fast. So
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about these stories that we have. We have a little section we call "Near and Far."
Oh yeah,
That's another
near and far.
another puppet that we're talking about.
That's what it's all about.
So it's all about.
I understand.
You understand. So you said your far story, which sounded really great. I want to jump on that in case we can't get to both of them. It was a little vague as to what occurred, so I'm really curious. All I got from you is Spencer Davis.
Spencer Davis.
Can you fill
So we're
this
on the
in?
road.
We were
Yeah.
we were on the road
Okay.
in Bill's gray Chevy van,
Yeah.
going in one direction, and so
As vans do.
as vans do, on our way to
They don't go to two
on
directions
our way
at the
to
same time.
Blacksburg, Virginia.
Okay.
And so there's this really dilapidated gas station in the middle of nowhere. You know,
Okay.
the
We're in
bubblegum machine
Christiansburg.
looking. It was in Christiansburg. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Christiansburg.
And there's only one van can get in one direction, and the other van came on the other side of the pump going the other direction.
Okay.
And we noticed that the band had like drums and amps and guitars just like us.
Right, as bands do.
As bands do.
Yeah.
And just like we got out of the van and went into the gas station, and all they had were like candy machines and everything, the guys from the other band got out of their van and came in with, to the candy machine thing, and we noticed that they all had British accents.
So you're wondering if you have to murder them and steal their powers because they're doppelgangers.
That's
No.
Oh, okay. I was just checking.
Our songwriter was kind of a colossal jerk. He's kind of a mensch now, so he's really
Oh,
come around.
he's come around,
But
good.
so we found out this band was the Spencer Davis Group.
Oh, all right.
And Andy, who was our songwriter, he came up to me and said, "I bet if you still had Stevie Winwood, you'd have two vans." and we're just like,
because
it was really kind of cold, but still they've seen success I've only dreamed of. So karma is a bitch.
yeah, the way he said it though, it was
But
clearly
now,
a joke. and
Andy's a
everything. It was
mensch now.
funny.
He is the president of Anti Records.
Anti-record.
Anti Records. Tom Waits, Wilco, Merle Haggard,
Wow.
Solomon Burke. He's an amazing guy. Andy Calkin, Anti Records. He's the most successful person I know in the music business, probably.
That's fantastic. And so he went from making fun of people on the side of the road to
Running
he was-
an iconoclastic record
Yeah,
label.
He was just making small talk because
So-
when you run into Spencer Davis getting a Snickers bar at a
Yeah.
gas station in Christiansburg, as he's on his way to the Moose Lodge to play an oldies show.
what we've learned is the way to success is just joning on people that you see anywhere, right? You just
It could be in spite of that.
viciousness, right?
It might not be because of that.
you go into like just restaurants and just yell, "Yeah, of course you'd fall through the ceiling. You're stupid."
We were on our way to
Well,
the Waffle House.
Yeah.
We see large examples of rudeness being rewarded
Yeah,
in
and then
our in our world today. So I just want to
Yeah, but back
leave
then
it
we,
on that.
we were just high back then, though.
That was the difference. So get high, be rude, you'll be famous.
If Congress had joint sessions, we would all be better off.
no. Andy was straight edge and he was rude.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know whether those things line up.
We're
Okay.
not sure. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe not get high. Just be rude, get
He might
famous.
not have been so rude if he had been
Words
like a little
from
more
color
chill.
school.
There you go.
That's your advice for everybody.
That's
No. All right.
probably not. Yeah.
We've
Works
run
for
out
us.
of time, guys.
Awesome.
I'm so sorry. Did you have a good
I
time?
had
Really
a
good.
blast, man.
Excellent,
It
everyone.
went so fast.
It did. Once again, we have Bill and Jerry from Color School. They're going to be playing Thursday, November 15th at the Vinyl Lounge in Washington, D.C. Go listen to their single issue at the end of this show. That's from their EP, Close Enough to Fix. Go to anywhere and just search for it, and you can stream it in its entirety. Go up to facebook.com/Color School to find out more about them. Without further ado, you know the spiel. Like our post, follow us, retweet us, and show the share on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Also, don't forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you to be on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to Adam, Kevin Evinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, McMinnell Records, McMinnell Studios, and Alchemical Records. Thanks most of all to Color School for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Reason is everybody's right. Is there is no chance in hell that we may ever unite? When every word a chain start hacking at the core, I'd rather learn to dance with all the sawdust on the floor. Let's move. Let's groove. Loving those who say they really care are sitting idly on the sideline like it's none of their affair, because it's someone else's issue, someone else's cry. They wait for peace and justice in the espresso line. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's rock the issue tonight. Let's rock the issue tonight.